Hello viewers, we are entering into a compliance era. Government of India earlier has brought in a compliance window for the people who stashed black money abroad to come forward and then disclose it. Now it is income declaration scheme for the people who want to disclose their assets at the domestic level. Now to discuss about this income declaration scheme 2016, we have with us the member of CBDT, Ms. Rani Singh Nair with us. Thank you, ma'am, for giving your time.
Thank you.
As I was saying that we are entering into a compliance era. How different is this going to be? How exactly do you think will this be a game changer in the complaint system?
Well, if you look at it, you see how society is changing because of technology. So today, all the information that we have about all your activities, economic activities, they are all being networked because the data which is stored on the servers are all talking to each other.
Yes.
So it becomes very difficult to hide any transaction. And the department itself is moving into an overdrive to get as much data as possible through third-party reporting and also through data mining. We have just going to start Project Insight, which will link all the data that we have with the income that people are declaring, the returns that they are filing, and it would be very easy to see that transactions are taking place which are not being reflected in the income tax returns.
Yes.
So with this kind of game changer which is happening in terms of technology, and also the government's philosophy and belief that there should be 100% support for the honest taxpayer and zero tolerance for the tax evader, we feel that before we go towards more harsher tax regime, we should give an opportunity, a window of opportunity to the taxpayers to come clean and declare their assets. So the income declaration scheme is the last chance that taxpayers are going to get to come clean and declare their assets, and from then onwards they will be compliant taxpayers.
Right. So at the first point itself, you made it clear that this is going to be the last chance for those people to come and disclose their undisclosed assets. But then if you can throw some light on this complete scheme, entire scheme, how are you actually planning to execute this? What exactly is the process an individual can come forward and disclose his asset? What is the application process? I mean, how does this entire system work?
The income disclosure scheme, which has been approved by Parliament and has become an act, will now apply to the taxpayers from 1st June 2016. The window for making a declaration is from 1st June 2016 till 30th September 2016. And thereafter, once we have seen that the declaration is correct, we will, within 15 days, the Principal Commissioner of Income Tax will intimate to the taxpayer, and he will in turn make the payment on the declaration. The payment has to be made by 30th November 2016. These are the modalities. If you go on our web page, you will see that there is a Form 1 in which a declaration has to be made. There is a Form 2 in which the authority before whom he is filing it will acknowledge it. Form 3 is the tax payment proof that he will file, and Form 4 is the final acknowledgement that will be given. Apart from the manual procedure, we also are having an online procedure where a taxpayer can file this declaration online, and this will be taken on record in our system.
Right. And what about who are eligible basically to disclose their assets, and who are not eligible as well?
Okay. Any taxpayer who has in the past not declared his income or has not fully declared his income is eligible to make a declaration under this scheme. By fully declared, I mean if I had an asset which was worth 100 crores and I have never shown it, I can come and I can declare it. If I had shown this asset by undervaluing it at 50 crores, then I can come and declare the balance 50 crores in this scheme. If I'm a foreigner, but I lived in India, or I'm a non-resident and I have income which was taxable in India, and I had never declared it, I can also come forward and declare the assets which are located in India, the income of which was taxable in India. The people who are not covered by this scheme are basically people who are to whom a notice has been issued under the Income Tax Act under 142 or 148, people in whose cases searches and surveys have been done, people who are covered by the Prevention of Corruption Act, by the NPDS Act. These specifications are given in the Act itself. Having said that, let me also add that if I have received, as a taxpayer, I have received a notice for the year 14-15, but I want to know whether I can declare my asset. The answer is, for 14-15 I cannot declare because that's an open assessment, but for the earlier years, say 13-14, 12-13, these assessment years, I can make a declaration.
Right.
Similarly, if a search has taken place and the time for notice has not expired, I cannot make it with respect to the period which will be covered in the notice. But if I want to come clean and want to declare something which happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I can do that. So there is no limit how far I can go back to make a declaration. This is for making taxpayers tax compliant, and from henceforward they should follow the rules and live and abide by the rules.
So that means even the honest taxpayer, say for example, randomly the income tax department started scrutinizing, and then if they want to, rather, I mean, I just wanted to say this, I mean, like if they, for example, now are scared, say for example, they're paying honesty taxes, but then they are randomly under the scrutinized by this income tax department, and then they feel, okay, there are certain undisclosed assets which I have to disclose. Now, will those people be eligible to come and disclose now the assets which they couldn't disclose completely?
Yes, definitely. As I said, not for the year which the notice is there, but say for example, my assessment is completed and there is nothing pending before the department, but I want to come forward and say I want to declare. Even those people can do it.
Leaving this current year.
Current and which, but if there is something which is nothing is pending, and today I was searched, my assessments have all been finalized. Nothing is pending before the department, no notices are open. I want to come forward and declare, I can declare.
Okay. And there is another sort of a fear as well, apprehension as well, that there could be some sort of inquiry. Now, will there be any inquiry by the department like, about these undisclosed assets, how they have actually accumulated it and all, something like that?
No, definitely not, because this is an income disclosure scheme. We want taxpayers to come and declare the income. We have in the Act itself said that this will not be part of your income returns that you have filed. Anything that you declare will not be part of the wealth tax assessment that should have taken place. So as a result, it's a win-win situation for the taxpayer. He just declares what he wants to declare. We will tax him on a flat rate of 45%, 30% tax, 5% and 10% penalty, out of which 5% will be Krishi Kalyan cess and 5% of that will be penalty. So it is ultimately you pay 45% and you buy peace forever.
Right. No, but ma'am, there is one thing. Now, you said that there will not be any inquiry conducted. And there is also, you said that the people who accumulate money through corruption can't be allowed to disclose. Now, how would you know that the amount accumulated is not through corruption? Obviously the corruption or the charges have not been framed, but still there could be a possibility that people must have accumulated it through corruption or some other fraudulent means. Even they can come forward and then say they can disclose it. If there is no inquiry, you would obviously not be knowing it, right?
Definitely. When you file, we will not be probing into the source of the income, but say at a subsequent date, it comes to light that you are covered under a crime which is under the PCA Act or the NPDS Act or some specified sections of IPC, then your disclosure, the immunity will not be there for you.
Okay, so the immunity will be gone at that time.
Because you have made a disclosure which was not as per the Act.
Right. So apart from these, ma'am, how do you look at this complete thing from the taxpayer's point of view? What would be the benefits for them, apart from what you've mentioned right now?
See, the benefit for me is that when I evade taxes, I'm always living under the edge of disclosure. Someone somewhere will find out this information. I also feel as a taxpayer that, there's a lot of information sharing. There's a lot of, investigation and investigative activities which are taking place in society where my undisclosed income may come to light. Now, if I don't declare today, then the chances are that government's laws will apply to me, and those laws may be more harsh than what it is, to declare it. So I pay my taxes. It is my choice. We are not forcing anyone. So it's my choice to take this opportunity and go ahead and buy peace and be a tax compliant taxpayer.
Right. You're not forcing, but still you're saying this is the last chance. Come and disclose it.
Definitely, because you see, as a country, as a nation, we have to move towards an era of tax compliance, of zero tolerance for black money, and these are initiatives which the government is putting in place to ensure that taxpayers become tax compliant as soon as possible.
Right. And another most important thing, ma'am, there was a similar scheme called Voluntary Disclosure of Income Scheme that was launched in 1997. Of course, that was under a different regime. How is this scheme completely different from that? People obviously have this tendency to start comparing that, okay, this is not a new scheme, it was already there, but how is this different? I mean, they could have continued with that same scheme, something like that, some random questions that emerge in the minds of the people.
See, we are very clear that this is not is a voluntary disclosure scheme like a VDIS that you're referring to.
Yes.
If you look at the provisions of this scheme, we have not given any tax incentive to the person who's coming. He has to pay at 45%. You and I, as honest taxpayers, would pay at 34% because 30% is the tax rate and 4%, roughly 3 point something, becomes the surcharge and cess and all that. So as an honest taxpayer, I'm paying about 34%. A taxpayer who is evaded, I cannot make him pay at the same rate. In the old scheme, it was at the same rate, 30%. So I do not want to discourage and disincentivize my honest taxpayer by treating someone who's evaded tax at the same rate. Yes. So we have put 11% more and made it 45%. And we feel that is a very fair rate that we have adopted, because by paying 11% more tax, he is going to get immunity from all prosecutions and penalties and whatever would have been applicable to him otherwise if we found it in a search or in investigations. Another point of difference is that if you look at the valuation of the asset, we are saying either the cost of acquisition or the fair market value as determined by the method we have given in the rules, whichever is higher. So as such, there is no incentive for anyone to come and give fictitious value of assets which are 20, 30 years and prove it to be, that I held the asset for 30 years and I pay tax on a nominal value. So we are going to take full value of the tax on the assets you are declaring.
Well, at this right moment, I was about to ask about this crucial thing about the fair market value, ma'am. We'll break it into, even demystify that complete concept. But before that, let's slip into a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll talk about fair market value, which is most important, the important question which you people have. We'll be getting that answer from Ms. Rani Singh Nair as well, the CBDT member. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
मुथूट फाइनेंस, भारत का नंबर 1 भरोसेमंद फाइनेंस डाइवर्सिफाइड ब्रांड, जो आपको देता है भारत का सबसे बढ़िया गोल्ड लोन, यानी सबसे बढ़िया ब्याज दर, सबसे अधिक लोन राशि, घर बैठे ऑनलाइन गोल्ड लोन की सुविधा, ऑनलाइन इंटरेस्ट का भुगतान करें, कॉल करें 1800-120-2838।
Welcome back. We have with us Ms. Rani Singh Nair, the CBDT member, who was discussing on Income Declaration Scheme 2016. Ma'am, before the break, you were talking about the fair market value. Now, many people have this question. Now, say for example, some individual who's bought some house or some property, some asset some 20 years ago worth 5 lakhs, for example, say 5 lakh rupees. Now, and it is undisclosed. Now he wants to disclose it through this compliance window. How exactly is this taxation done? How are you evaluating this asset? Now, will you be evaluating at the 5 lakh rupees, how much, I mean, the price which he bought it, or will it be evaluated at this moment, the market price at this, which will be declared today?
The rules that we have notified, and they're already in the public domain, have said all assets that are being declared will be at the cost of acquisition or the fair market value as on 1st June 2016, whichever is higher. So, for example, you bought something for 5 lakhs and the value of that is 2 lakhs now on 1st June, so you will declare it at 5 lakhs. If you bought something at 5 lakhs but the market value today is say 10 lakhs, then you will declare it at 10 lakhs. So, basically we are capturing the value of the asset which is on the higher side.
And what is the process you are adopting to evaluate this asset?
See, the cost of acquisition you have with you, and the fair market value, very detailed roadmap, the way it is going to be valued is been given in the rules. For example, you said house property, you can get it valued. So, we accept whatever valuation report that you give, we will accept that this value of the property is now 10 lakhs. So, we accept the valuation report.
Now, who will evaluate this? I mean, like, are you appointing someone, some sort of a mechanism to evaluate this?
Under our Wealth Tax Act and Income Tax Act, there are registered valuers, so they can go for those registered valuers. The details of this valuation process is in the rules, which is available on our webpage.
Right, right. And then, don't you think, ma'am, this could actually deter the complete, the motive behind this income declaration scheme? If you start valuating it at this amount, fair market value, obviously, how many people will be interested? Now, say for example, let's take the same thing. It was around some 20 years ago, it was 5 lakhs. Now it becomes 50 lakhs. And then those people might say, okay, I don't have money. Now I can't pay this 45% tax now. If you are valuating it at these levels, I mean, don't you think this will deter the complete motive?
No, I don't think so, because you see, you've had this asset, you invested in this asset and you did not pay taxes, and now you are coming forward to declare this asset. The value of that asset is 50 lakhs, and it would be unfair to the honest taxpayers if we say no, we will take it 5 lakhs. It would be very unfair to him. But we would like to be fair to you also when you come to declare. So what we have said is that if you value your asset as 50 lakhs and then subsequently you want to sell this asset, then the value of 50 lakhs will be taken as the cost of acquisition, and the date will be from the date you declared this value. So, in a way, there is a benefit to the taxpayer. If he wants to sell it, he can then substitute this value of 50 lakhs and compute his capital gains accordingly. Whereas, in the other scenario, he could not sell it, he would have had to sell it without disclosing it. Maybe he would not get the correct value, and maybe he would always be under the fear of discovery.
Right. So this means if he is voluntarily coming, he wants to disclose, but then he at the end of the day says that I don't have so much of money to pay. Now there is no option for him rather to sell the property and then pay the taxes.
No, but he could have other income also, because he need not pay it only from selling the asset. He may have other income, and he may choose to pay out of other income that he has.
So basically, at the end of the day, there are solutions for everything that comes in. Now, there is another important thing, ma'am. I mean, like if at all, if the individual has to sell the property in the future, now will this fair market value on this date to June 1st, 2016 be applicable for that if he wants to sell it in the future?
I just said that it will be, and we have issued this in our FAQs that we have already released.
Okay. And coming back to the complete tax collection now, because most of the clarification has been given regarding the most important doubts which people generally were discussing with me as well. From the tax revenues point of view, I mean, it is not that you are actually bringing this scheme to escalate the tax revenues, but still, how are you looking at this and the impact? What exactly could be the impact on this tax revenues point of view after 4 months?
See, we have not budgeted any income coming out of this in our budget estimates of tax revenues to be collected. in 2016-17. This for us is a measure that we have given to the taxpayers. We want you to come clean. We want to facilitate you in becoming honest taxpayers. So we are not looking at this as a revenue raising measure. Yes, of course, taxes will come and they will add to our budget collections, but it is not something on which we are putting it in our budget estimates.
And finally, ma'am, a couple of questions. How confident are you that this scheme will be successful and you get desired results, whatever you're expecting? Because there is some sort of divide talk when you brought this compliance window for the black money stashed abroad. There were expectations that there could be over a lakh crore rupees of the black money stashed abroad that could come, but then you would just ended up getting almost 4,147 crores or something. People said that this is not a success. That was not a successful compliance window scheme earlier. Do you accept with that, and do you think this could face such sort of a fate, or this would be something different?
Let me answer like this. We gave a window under the Black Money Act. Some people chose to use it, some people didn't.
They'll face the consequences.
They will face the consequences as information comes out, and as the information is there, maybe they regret that they should have come and declared it. In the same way, as far as the income disclosure scheme is concerned, it is a chance to come and declare rather than face the consequences, because going forward, your valuation of the assets which are disclosed in a search or something, a search or survey or even an investigation will be taken at the value as on date. So you cannot, even going forward, you cannot say that I acquired it 20 years ago, so the value should be only 5 lakhs. Yes. No. So you will anyway have to pay it with the consequential prosecution, higher rate of penalty. So you are going to be a loser in this. So it's better to come in the compliance window.
So basically, this is a double-edged sword, we can say, because I don't say sword, but then still, the honest taxpayer will not feel bad, okay, because these people will be paying penalty as well, and then these people will also be getting chance to, come and then come clean and then, lead a peaceful life after this, because there should be consequences. Well, finally, ma'am, what is it you want to say for the taxpayers across the country?
I would like to say to all taxpayers that, to pay your taxes is something which you should be proud of. It is something that you need to do, because all your taxes are translated into services to you. Yes. In the form of infrastructure, in form of hospitals, in form of schools, in form of the less privileged people for whom we have transfer payments. So ultimately, the taxpayers of this country are part of the nation, and we should be proud to be a taxpayer. So that is all I can say. Be a proud taxpayer. Please pay your taxes on time and correctly.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for giving your time. Thanks a lot. So that is CBDT member Ms. Rani Singh Nair, who gave utmost clarity on this income declaration scheme 2016. So come forward, disclose your undisclosed assets, and lead a peaceful life, a fair life, and be an honest taxpayer. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to DD News.